something goes wrong, you leave your
Apples will apples are the strongest apple. What do you do?
Welcome back to For Your Heart and Home. My name is Dee Dee. Welcome into my kitchen. So, you got a new bread machine for Christmas, or maybe you've had one for a while, but you are still looking for guidance on how to use it? If either of these scenarios describe you, well, you're in the right place. Hi guys, and welcome back to For Your Heart and Home. If you are new here, my name is Dee Dee. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad you found us. Happy New Year, everyone, and I hope you had a wonderful holiday season spending time with your family and loved ones. As we step into a fresh year, I love starting with recipes that feel comforting, practical, and doable, especially if you're learning something new in the kitchen. Today, I'm showing you how to make soft, fluffy cinnamon rolls using your bread machine on the dough setting, and we're making them with freshly milled hard white wheat flour. This recipe is perfect if you're just getting familiar with your machine or if you want a from-scratch treat without spending all day in the kitchen. One of my favorite things about the bread machine, and if you've been here any number of times, you know I absolutely love my bread machine, but I love it because of how it takes care of the kneading and the first rise for you. You still get that homemade, scratch-made result, but with a little extra help, especially helpful during busy seasons of life. And I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely in a very busy season of my life. The first thing I'm going to do is to start by milling my flour. I'm going to mill approximately 4.5 cups of hard white wheat to make these cinnamon rolls. So now that I've milled all my flour, it is time to add my ingredients to my bread pan. I'm starting with 1 1/3 cups of warm water, 1 stick of butter cut into chunks, about 5 tablespoons of sugar, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of salt, four and a half cups of freshly milled hard white wheat, and 1 tablespoon of quick rise yeast. Now my daughter is helping me to put these ingredients into my bread pan, and based on how she measured the flour, I did go back and add a little bit more flour while everything was coming together in my bread machine. This recipe works just as fine with all-purpose flour. I just like using freshly milled flour because it adds a little bit more nutrition to what I'm feeding my family. If I'm going to go through the trouble of making something from scratch and I can make it also nutrient dense, then that's a win-win for me. Freshly milled flour contains 40 of the 44 vitamins we need on a daily basis. So if I'm giving my family a bread product and I can use freshly milled flour, that's one way to boost the nutrient content of what they're consuming. When working with freshly milled flour, we also need to keep in mind that your ratios may be a little bit off. So for every 1 cup of all-purpose flour that a recipe calls for, you're going to need approximately 1 1/4 cup of freshly milled flour. As you work with it, you're going to get comfortable. You're going to be able to see the dough and figure out for yourself how much more additions you need to make. And I will show you later on in the video how I made adjustments along the way. So the bread machine that I'm using is a Cuisinart bread machine, the convection model. I will put a picture of that to show exactly what I'm using. I've put all the ingredients in. I've set my bread machine to the dough cycle, which takes approximately 1 hour and 25 minutes. So the first few minutes, you'll see that my dough looks a little shaggy. I'm going to help it along with my spatula. I'm also going to add just a touch more flour because my dough looked pretty wet. Then I'm going to allow my bread machine to do a little bit of kneading. After about 5 minutes, this is what the dough looks like. I'm going to allow it to continue to knead. Now you see that it's come together in a nice ball, and that's what I'm looking for. So now that my dough has come together nicely, I'm just going to cover my bread machine and let it do its thing. Again, once everything is in my bread machine, I set it to the dough cycle, and this will knead the dough and allow it to do the first rise, which is just taking away some of the work from you. This is a great time to tidy your kitchen, prep for the filling that we're about to make, or just take a moment to yourself. So while my bread machine is going, I'm going to show you how I'm making the filling. The filling is also very simple. It takes butter, it takes cinnamon, and it takes some brown sugar. You're going to take about 1.5 cups of brown sugar. I used about 3/4 of a cup. I didn't want it to be too sweet. And I'm using turbinado sugar, which has bigger granules, and so I tend to use less sugar than the recipe will call for because I don't want to produce an overly sweet product. So I'm using about 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, about 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and 1/2 cup of butter. Now the recipe suggests that you melt the butter, and it will be easier to incorporate all of the ingredients between the sugar and the cinnamon. But I find when you melt the butter and you try to pull your cinnamon roll together, it becomes a goopy mess. So I will take the time to work the butter or cut the butter into my sugar and cinnamon mixture. It takes a little bit longer, but I find that you get a better result. So I'm just going to work this together and then set that aside until my dough is ready. So when my bread machine goes off, as you can see, my dough comes out nice and puffy. It's done its first rise. It is time to now roll it out, fill it, and put it down to do a second rise. You're going to pour out your dough onto a lightly floured, clean surface. Next, you're going to roll it gently into a rectangle, then spread that softened butter mixture over the top of your rectangle. This is where all that cozy flavor comes in, so you want to spend time doing this well. You'll see that my filling is not overflowing, but you can do as much or as little filling as you want. Spoiler alert, you can also use this same dough recipe and add different fillings. I've done this with chocolate filling. I've done this with jam as my filling, my strawberry jam, and all of the varieties that I have tried with this has worked out beautifully. So once I get the rectangle that I really like, I'm going to put on my filling. I want to remind you that I'm using freshly milled flour for this, and freshly milled flour behaves slightly differently than conventional flour, but you still get flavorful results, absolutely delicious products, and knowing that you're adding that extra nutrition into your family's diet just puts the icing on the cake. Once I'm happy with the filling and how it's laying on my rectangle, I'm just going to roll this up tightly, and then I'm going to get it into even slices. Now, you know there's no perfection around here, guys. We keep it rustic, and I eyeball things a lot of the times, so I'm just gonna go with as evenly as possible for the slices. Now, usually when I do this recipe with my all-purpose flour in my bread machine, I'm able to get enough dough to fill 2 of these trays that I'm filling up. So that was what I was expecting to do today, but it's wintertime, it's cold in my kitchen, and my dough did not rise as much. So I just went ahead and condensed everything into one pan, and it worked out beautifully. So do the best you can, cut your slices, get it into your pan. Don't forget you want to put it in a greased pan. So use a generous layer of butter onto your pans before you put the cinnamon rolls in. As you can see, when my dough came out of my bread machine, I cut it in half because I was expecting to fill 2 trays, but because of the coldness in my kitchen and there wasn't enough rise, I just condensed everything into one pan. So with the second piece of dough, I'm just going to roll it out. I made some more filling. I'm just going to put the filling on top, roll that up tightly, and use that to complete the rest of this tray. I don't know about you guys, but we eat cinnamon rolls all year long. It's not just a December treat. Now, we don't eat it every week. It's maybe a once a month treat, but it's something that we absolutely love as a family of five. The warm cinnamon rolls coming out of the oven is just everybody's favorite thing to smell. And if I can do them in the morning before my family wakes up, to have them waking up to the smell wafted in the home, it's just absolutely delicious. And nobody will ever turn down these cinnamon rolls. They are absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to get the rest of these rolled out and into the pan. All right, so these are my cinnamon roll pieces. They are put in this pan. Again, my pan was greased well. Now I'm going to put them down so that they can do a second rise. You want them to double in size, get nice and puffy. And so I just put them in a warm spot in my kitchen. You can put them on the back of your stove while you warm up your oven and put a towel over them. So now they're puffy and ready for the oven. I'm going to put them in. While they're in the oven, I'm going to work on my icing for the top. And this is super simple. I'm starting with about 2 cups of powdered sugar. I'm going to put in some vanilla. You can never use too much vanilla, but about a tablespoon of vanilla. And then I'm going to use just drizzles of water. There's really no science to this. It's really the consistency that you're looking for. I was going for slightly thick, but not too thick, and definitely not too runny in this case. So I'm just gonna keep adding little bits of water until I get the consistency that I like. Then I'm gonna mix that around and then set that to the side because we're almost ready to put this all together. All right, this looks pretty good to me, and so I'm going to set this to the side until the rolls come out of the oven. And this is what they look like, you guys. It smelled amazing in my kitchen, and it was the perfect scent for winter. I love cinnamon rolls because they have those nooks and crannies where the icing goes down into, and when they're warm, they are delicious. Absolutely delicious. So I'm going to drizzle on this icing on top of these warm cinnamon rolls. And guys, this did not last very long. My family quickly gobbled this up. These cinnamon rolls are soft, they're lightly sweet, and they are full of that fresh milled flour flavor that makes homemade baking so special. So if you're new to bread machines or freshly milled flour, I hope this recipe gives you confidence to keep going. This new year is a perfect time to slow down, learn something new, and nourish your home with real homemade food. I will put the recipe here on the screen for you so that you can adapt it for whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're using all-purpose flour or freshly milled flour. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you try this recipe, please come back and let me know what your thoughts were. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to stick around. There is plenty more scratch cooking, fresh flour baking, and simple encouragement waiting for you here at For Your Heart and Home. Happy New Year, friends, and I will see you in the next video.